Za'Darius Smith, not an elite edge, right? I know that was a different conversation. Za'Darius is still out there. Is there interest on your side?
Yeah, look, Za'Darius did a lot of good things last year for us, and we said we're going to keep in contact with his agent. But, it's not everything's not just one-sided. Za'Darius has expectations, the team has expectations. So sometimes it takes a while for those things to get on the same page, especially a guy, that's been in the league as long as he has. I'm sure that, I'm not saying that he doesn't want to be in training camp, but if he misses sometimes, so there's obviously still interest there, and we've been keeping in touch.
All right, man. Let's talk about Brad Holmes. He talked about Za'Darius Smith, and pretty much what he alluded to was that Za'Darius Smith pretty much don't want to go through the grind in training camp. Now, I don't know how many of y'all understand how many veterans don't like going to training camp. Let's use revisionist history for those who remember, old enough to remember. Brett Favre is the example here. Brett Favre did not want to go to training camp, so he held the Packers hostage. He held the Jets hostage about training camp, whether he wanted to retire or not retire. Then he would come in the middle of camp, and then they'd have hit the ground rolling. That's why they probably blamed it that he didn't have a great year with the Jets. He just didn't want to do training camp. A lot of times, some of these teams, if you've seen Remember the Titans, if you haven't, you need to see it. It's one of the greatest football movies of all time. Some teams go off to camp and they have a hard training camp. They go off to camp somewhere, you basically sharing a dormitory so they can focus and build. Some people hold day camp, I think Detroit holding it at Allen Park, the Lions holding it at Allen Park, and you can go home. But for the most part, it's basically preparing the body for the season. But when you're a veteran, you already know where to have your body and where to prepare your body at for the seasons. And Darius Smith, he been making news, running around with Cash Doll, beefing with her baby daddy and all that type of shit. But he still looks in phenomenal shape, is my point. So he already know what it takes to kind of be in the shape. He done been through 7, 8 training camps, so he can hit the ground rolling. He's staying in shape. He's training. So he can pretty much come in 2, 3 weeks left in training camp. Brett Favre, 2, 3 weeks left in training camp. Be ready. Now, when you start to see a lot of these soft tissue injuries, Achilles, hamstrings, calf strains, you start seeing some of these injuries like that. A lot of times it boils down to two major things. Not in condition to deal with training camp, so you came in out of shape, or not in good enough shape. And two, a lot of these guys be dehydrated. A lot of these guys be so dehydrated that causes a lot of injuries too. So, but for the most part, the guys that stay in shape year round and keep their condition, they never don't have no issues with injuries and soreness and all that. When you start to come into camp out of shape, a lot of stuff, injuries happen when you strain in the body. Just to give you an example, if you lifting weight and you struggling to get the weight up, not just oh, I did 5 or 4 or 6 reps and I'm just trying to get that 7th, that's different. But when you're struggling in the first 2, 3 reps, that's when a tear happens. That's when a pull happens. Same thing in the body. When you jogging or you hitting the sled or you conditioning or y'all doing karaoke's, y'all sliding or y'all hitting the sled drill, you start to get tired, your body, you start to, compromise your posture, your technique. That's when injuries start happening. So, you know, so you kind of got to remember that. You got to remember that. So yeah, you got to remember that. But for the most part, yeah, you don't want to go through the treacherous of training camp. But in my defense, if you body somebody around 300 pounds, and you not an Ndamukong Suh, Gerald McCoy, John Randall type, Aaron Donald build type of guy, you more the Tyleik Williams, 320, 315 type of guy. Like if you ain't a really good looking 300-pound like Sue or Gerald McCoy or something, you need to be in camp. You need to be in camp. You know what I'm saying? But Za'Darius Smith leaned out, in shape. You just don't. You don't need training camp when you like him. You know how to prepare. So that won't be a problem. So for the most part, they may go in there, integrate him back in, integrate Hutch in there, and then everything. I think it looks a lot better. Davenport, everything he been killing it. Hutch been killing it. Somebody, a rookie from Houston that's been killing it too. So, Za'Darius Smith changes everything. You know what I'm saying? And then Aleem McNeil said he's starting to get healthy, and really you don't want to rush Aleem McNeil because you have a lot of depth there with Roy Lopez, and I haven't heard much about him, but Roy Lopez, Tyleek Williams, and I'm not sure if Malik, not Malik, but what's the brother's name from? I ain't sure if he off the injury list neither. Malik, the one for Frazier or Miles Frazier, but what's the brothers? Makai Wingo. But you got stuff there. Roger Martin, he probably done. But you got Tyleek Williams, DJ Reader, Roy Lopez. You got some depth in there. So, adding another guy like Matt Judon or Darius Smith or Jadeveon Clowney, that just pretty much set them. That's just gonna make them a lot stronger at that position. So, but yeah, man. But for the most part, yeah, I mean, shit. I don't want to be around a whole bunch of guys. Like you just want to put yourself in the best position to be in shape. Off season, then a couple weeks in training camp, the playbook. It ain't much to learn. When you got to stunt, set the edge, don't lose containment. You ain't much to learn on the defensive line. Gap discipline, ain't much to learn. Now, if you got to drop here and there, I mean, like I said, it's not. It only really get complicated on the back end, or if you starting to drop somebody. The blitzes might get, but really, it don't get complicated in the back end. If you playing combination, you playing, zone over the top, or you got a hook, you got somebody playing a zone, a hook zone in the middle, and you got everybody, two safeties playing zone in the back, spying or what you call it, one high and one underneath. I forget what they call that. The one underneath, I forget what they call that. Somebody said in the comment section or you going too high, you got the linebacker playing zone in the middle, that's when it kind of get complicated when you start doing combination coverage, or when y'all playing man, or y'all playing zone, and they starting to move pass catchers and running backs around, and who got him, who got. But in the front end, the front four, it ain't really too much to it. Neanderthal can understand the playbook. You know what I'm saying? Like, but for the most part, I'm not surprised that he could be coming back. I mean, obviously they talking to Judon and a lot of them veterans just like, okay. A couple weeks in, I'll give him 1 or 2 more weeks. Bam. Okay, 2 or 3 weeks left in training camp. I think we around 3 weeks away. Because what we in the first full week in August, or 1, 2, about 3 or 4 weeks away. So you probably give another week, and then probably start seeing people sign for like 2 weeks, get in shape, and then that's how it's gonna be. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance, get notifications. We go live or drop video. Hit the link in the description. You can find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon, Kick, Twitch, the whole 9. Everything inside the link tree. You can follow me there. Other platforms. Peace.